You turn the camera off, and I'll be naked when you come back.
Shh. Spoilers ahead. Hello everybody, and welcome to Cinemattraction. I'm Heat Guy Jay, and with me is Cold to the Bone
John.
John, can I ask you a quick question?
Certainly.
Why are you dressed like an Arabian prince?
You know, there's people going to be listening to this and watching this, like, thinking that we're just joking.
Yes.
Thinking that I'm not dressed like an Arabian prince.
Which you actually are.
Exactly. There are people actually going to be not taking you serious. So what have you been watching recently?
Well, I haven't been watching many films. I've been watching...
Miami Vice?
No, I haven't been watching.
Watch Miami Vice!
I watched the two murder mystery films.
The Netflix Adam Sandler.
Yes, which have one of my least favourite ever actresses in it.
Jennifer
Aniston. I cannot stand her. I don't know why. Nothing against her, but I just...
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever seen her in anything. I never watched Friends.
I just find her dull. I just find her really dull. I don't like Adam Sandler particularly either. He's not... He can be really good, or he can be really...
He's done some things I like.
Rubbish, you know.
Uncut Gems.
Oh, Uncut Gems. He was brilliant in that.
Happy Gilmore.
I've never seen Happy Gilmore, so... I did like him in...
Are you too good for your home?
I did like him in That's My Boy. He was funny in that.
We saw that together and it was awful.
Did, that was funny. That was really funny.
You watched Star Wars the other day. Did you happen to go to Celebration that's currently taking place? Oh,
I didn't.
I was going to ask you two questions, is the only thing.
What celebration questions or?
Well, just Star Warsy questions. Because,
Okay.
Well, a celebration.
Yes, I
was going to ask you whether or not you saw Robert first, but I might have asked you.
What, do you think I saw Robert and that sparked off my I better go and watch Star Wars? Because he reminded me to watch Star Wars.
If you'd have gone to Celebration and seen Robert.
I would have loved to seen Robert.
But also, there's a new Ray trilogy coming.
Is there?
Apparently. Isn't that one of the
I did not know this.
Announced?
No, I did not know this.
Oh,
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Is it Ahsoka or Ashoka or something?
There is an Ahsoka, yes. There's an
like
Ahsoka series coming.
Oh, yeah,
to Disney Plus, yeah.
There's a James Mangold movie. And,
right.
Yeah, a load of Ray movies, I believe.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Have you not been...
I don't know why I haven't... I don't know why. I don't know where I've been. I've been watching Daisy Jones and the Six on Amazon Prime.
What's that like?
It's got Elvis's granddaughter, Riley...
Keough.
Yes, in it. And it's also got Sam Claflin in it. Okay. And I think it's loosely based on Fleetwood Mac, from what I've watched of it. They've got 2 episodes to go. It's a 10-episode series.
I like the Mac.
Yes. Riley Keough plays like a...
okay.
What? Did I say her name wrong?
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, I think she's a Stevie Nicks
the other
character.
one's Lindsay Buckingham. Though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. You know, because didn't they write songs for each other when they made an album?
Like a duo for a
while, but I mean they
wrote
songs at each other, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is what's happening in this programme. They're writing, and there's this sexual tension, between them and stuff. Saucy, yes.
12 Angry Men is a 1957 courtroom drama directed by Sidney Lumet, adapted from the teleplay of the same name. The temperature of a New York County courthouse rises as 12 angry men, as a 12-man jury sets out to deliberate the conviction or acquittal of an impoverished teenage boy charged with the murder of his abusive father. The jury is instructed that they must return a verdict of not guilty if there is any reasonable doubt within the case. If the jury find the young man guilty, he will be sentenced to the death penalty.
Yeah.
So it's quite important that they get this right.
Oh yeah, it's a lot on the line for this kid.
Yeah. The jury's, on the surface, this appears to be a no-brainer, with multiple witnesses testifying the young man's vicious actions. In a preliminary vote, all voters vote guilty, except for juror number 8, played by Henry Fonda, who believes that reasonable doubt exists. A truly intense legal drama, deceptively bare bones in execution, generally regarded as being one of the best films ever made, earning 3 Oscar nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. This film would be selected for inclusion in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for its cultural significance. What are your general thoughts about 12 Angry Men?
Well, I'm going to be totally honest. I ain't going to lie. I was not looking forward to watching this because my experience of watching old black and white movies that I've never seen before tend to be that I don't like them. If I haven't seen them, usually, I don't like them. So I put it on and I thought,
don't want
well,
to watch the black and white film. That's old.
no, it's not that. It's not the. It's black and white. It's just I didn't fancy the really after watching To Kill a Mockingbird. I didn't really fancy watching this, and then I put it on and I thought
suggested To
I know,
Kill a Mockingbird
because I thought it was going to. Well, I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I'm going to say that I was pleasantly surprised that as I started to watch it, I was absolutely glued to it, and I thought, well, it's only an hour and a half, so it's not going to be a long film. But I found that literally within the first 20 minutes of it, I was glued to it. Even to the point that somebody knocked on the door and disturbed my film while I was watching it, and it actually aggravated me.
Cool.
Because I was in this film. I was,
You're invested.
I'm going to admit that I didn't really know what Henry Fonda looked like. I had to Google a picture of him because I didn't know which one of the jurors was.
He looks a bit like Jane.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. And I really like the fact that at the beginning it is a open and shut case, and you kind of think like, well, what really are you going to talk about?
There's some testimonies. There's some.
And Henry Fonda, he gets stronger and stronger. He starts off quite weak, I think.
Sure.
Almost sort of crouchy, and he sort of crouched down and huddled, and as it goes on, and he builds up momentum, and people start to believe him. I think he starts to grow.
Okay.
I also loved George C. Scott and his unwillingness to believe that the boy was innocent in any way whatsoever, which actually tied him back to his own feelings for his own son. It went back to what? What's the matter?
That's not George C. Scott.
What do you mean? No, George C. Scott. Yeah,
it's Lee Cobb. Juror number 3.
Yeah.
That's
the
Lee Cobb.
angry man.
That's Lee Cobb. That's not George C. Scott.
Oh, okay. Well, I do apologise.
That's fine.
I do apologise.
Do you know why I had to sort of jump into that? Because you know that the first comment that we get on this will be, "That's not George C. Scott, that's Lee Cobb." So I might as well just jump in
I do apologise to Lee Cobb because he did an amazing
uppity young man or woman or whatever comes in and corrects us in the comments.
I do apologise, and I just say to Lee Cobb, you did an amazing hour and a half impression of George C. Scott, so well done.
My groin.
So it's mostly all set in one room, isn't it?
Yes.
Mostly.
Yes.
The last couple of minutes are in the courthouse, aren't they? Or in the courtroom.
Well, I like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2-3 minutes.
Literally be like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I just love the atmosphere of it. I mean, I was sitting there watching it thinking, I wish we'd done this like in August or something, where it was really hot, and you could feel some of that heat that's in the room, and that's the sweatiness and the tension. All that's what I love about it. It's like a powder keg. It's ready to explode, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can really feel the heat of that room sort of escalate as it gets madder and
I love
Juror number 3.
I really like that. Yeah, he's got so many issues that he's brought into the case.
He's the angriest of the 12 men.
He is the angry man,
and he's certainly leading the charge against the defendant.
Yes,
he's the last of the jurors to change his vote.
He is. Yes,
and he does.
I was surprised he did
when he does so.
Yeah, I was surprised he did. I did not think he was going to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Because they still would have said a verdict of not guilty, even with his one guilty, wouldn't they?
I think it has to be unanimous, doesn't it?
Oh, does it?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think they have to all say yes or no, don't they?
Oh, okay. So what happens if somebody says that then? Is it hung jury then? If they don't all agree?
I think you then have to go through it all over again.
Yeah. Okay.
And that guy would have missed another baseball game.
I also liked what's his name? Who wanted to get to the baseball game?
The baseball guy.
Yeah, but he's really famous too, isn't he? He was as an older man.
Yeah. Jack Warden.
Jack Warden. Yeah,
I had to write them all down.
Yeah, but what I mean is he's to me he's been known as an older actor.
A Yankees fan who wants to go off to the Yankees game.
He really does not give a damn. He has no interest. He just changed his thing to no guilty because he wants to get out.
Yeah.
He just wants to get to his ball game, and he really doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
I think he's the most impartial juror because he just doesn't care.
Okay, we'll get into that as well. To get into some of the themes, maybe. It actually brings up an interesting point, or you bring up an interesting point about backgrounds and the system.
Yeah.
These are 12 angry white male jurors, and they're all roughly within the same age. bracket.
And they've got prejudices and...
They're not, well, sort of. I mean, they're each from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
They've all got different, but the various differences manifest and reveal and unravel.
Yeah.
There are aspects of privilege. If you imagine gentlemen of this certain age and certainly racial profile, background maybe, there are aspects of privilege and questions of a system that appear to disregard people of specific or particular, I suppose, social, racial, and economic backgrounds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty universal. I don't think it's a stretch to say that.
No. I mean, this film could be made today. So
casually, they should.
Yeah.
In the current climate, it would be it's a universal type of movie. Casually so, as juror number 7 wants the case to end or wrap up just so he can go and see his little...
Yeah.
His little
he's not
game.
interested. He's just wrapped up in his own life.
Whereas it is juror number 8, Henry Fonda's character, who we find the name of at the very end.
Yes, we do. Davis.
Nobody's got a name, apart from, until the very end.
Yeah.
Who challenges the other jurors to look at the evidence, the witness statements, and evaluate what is there. Do you want to talk about Henry Fonda?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the only person who questions the evidence.
He is.
He sees flaws within it, but as you say, he starts off kind of meekly, and then
he's quite meek to start off with, because obviously he's got all these people around him that he's got the pressure of the group.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that he isn't he doesn't say that the guy is innocent. He says I don't know.
I don't think he's convinced that.
I don't think he's convinced that he's innocent.
Is entirely innocent, but he's.
But he's saying I'm not sure he actually is guilty.
Beyond a shadow of... beyond a reasonable doubt. Yeah, exactly. That he is guilty.
Yeah.
I think Fonda and Cobb, a.k.a. George C. Scott, are perhaps the standout performers in the whole movie.
I think they are, definitely.
I like, as you said before we recorded this, Quincy. I think he's pretty good.
I love Quincy.
But
he's not the best character in it, though, is he?
Well, no, but we're talking about all of the backgrounds and things like that. He says that he's from like a slum.
Yes, he says he's from an underprivileged background.
Yeah, he's a really interesting character, and I think also Ed Begley as juror number 10. Is quite interesting. He's a big old bigot, isn't he?
He is.
Horrible bigot.
He is, especially like when the watchmaker, who is
Eastern European.
You don't really know he's foreign, basically.
Juror 11.
Yeah. He gets badmouthed by one of them, sort of basically saying, you people, you come over here and then you decide to tell us what for and how to do, and you sort of think, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you said, you brought up the fact that it's, I don't think juror number 8 is entirely convinced that the lad is guilty. But I like that ambiguity.
Yes, I do.
You are fed the details of the case gradually throughout the course of the film.
Yeah. I think it is ambiguous to really whether he actually did do it or not, because the thing is you could still see I could see him not doing it and doing it.
Grappling with the concept of absolute certainty.
Yeah.
It looks like the young man is totally guilty.
You can't deal in absolutes, that's the thing.
Right.
If the Jedi have taught us anything, only Sith deal in such absolutes.
Sure. God.
So George C. Scott was a big old Sith Lord.
And in the end, the young lad is actually acquitted of something.
He is, yes.
Is good. I like, again, the ambiguity, because you don't know what's really... And then it unravels, and you still don't really see the lad.
I think a lot of the things with the juror number 3, isn't it? That he's got a lot of issues with his son. He's bringing that in with him.
Indeed. Yeah, the minimalism.
Yeah.
It's all in one room.
Yeah.
For the most part, I guess.
But it's captivating. It is really captivating. You don't need a lot of crap going on.
Thanks to its incredible script and excellent direction, perhaps. Okay.
Yeah.
There aren't any dynamic set pieces.
No.
There aren't any lavish flourishes or anything like that.
I just want to know, when they went into the toilet, why only people were washing their faces and washing their hands and nobody was actually urinating. Taking a dump or urinating.
It's hot in there, I suppose, so you probably want to get the sweat off your brow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I presume that's it. And they're gentlemen, aren't they?
Yeah, so. I suppose. Yeah, gentlemen do not tinkle.
Queen didn't fart, did she?
No, that's true.
Really interesting story.
Did this win any Oscars?
It did, yeah. No, it earned 3 nominations. I don't think it actually
Why did it not win any Oscars?
Certainly
Especially for best film?
Well, it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay.
Right.
The 3 it probably should have won.
But it didn't win them.
It didn't. To my knowledge, it didn't. No. And also probably Henry Fonda's performance should have been probably in for a shout as well.
Yeah.
Thoughts and verdict. What do you reckon?
Well, my verdict is it's absolutely brilliant, and I think it's one of those films that is it's easy for anybody of any age to really. I mean, I'm not saying not necessarily children, but like
no, I think anyone should watch
a huge bracket of age can watch it, and it can still have. Even though it was made so long ago, it's still got lots of things that are relevant.
It's still relevant. Exactly.
Yeah, really relevant.
Exactly the right word.
Yeah.
Could you give any recommendations?
Could
you offer any recommendations?
I would offer, if you want to see this kind of film, I would say something like Glengarry Glen Ross, which is based on a play.
Good shout. Yeah, absolutely.
Even what's her name's Black Bottom, the one with the Black Bottom, with the one with Chadwick Boseman in.
Oh, Ma Rainey.
Yes, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
I would even say that has the
Whoa,
same
Black Bottom. Whoa, Black Bottom.
I'd even say that has the same kind of feel. You know, the musicians all down in the sort of basement area and the tension building up. The heat, yeah. Because that's a very hot film where she's always like mopping their brows and.
I'd recommend anything by Sidney Lumet, the director of this movie. So, Failsafe, Dog Day Afternoon, Network, which maybe is Masterpiece.
Oh, Dog Day Afternoon, that's the same kind of thing, really, isn't it?
Enormously compelling, relatively minimal, and character-driven studies.
Yeah.
Anything like that. To Kill a Mockingbird is a 1962 legal drama directed by Robert Muldoon from
Jurassic Park.
Based on Harper Lee's iconic novel of the same name. A beautiful, complex and compelling story. I suspect most people will already know this story. This film takes some narrative diversions from the book, but it is still, nevertheless, the overall story. We meet the Finch family, who reside in the fictional town of Macon, Alabama in the early 1930s. Widowed lawyer Atticus Finch, his daughter Scout, and son Jem. The children enjoy a breezy life, playing games and searching for the reclusive local resident Boo Radley, or Arthur Radley. Atticus gets appointed to defend Tom Robinson, an African-American man accused of assaulting a white woman. The violence and bigotry of the town is laid bare, with Scout and Jem becoming increasingly exposed to it. Mm-hmm. Atticus rightfully believes that all people deserve fair treatment and justly picks apart the fabricated case against Robinson. A critical and commercial success. This film was also selected for preservation by the Library of Congress for its cultural significance. It was nominated for 8 Oscars, including Best Picture, ultimately winning 3 for Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Art Direction, and Peck took home the Best Actor award. I absolutely love this film. It's a gripping tale, a message movie, right? Okay. I believe they're called. A story of bigotry, racism, stereotyping, ignorance, justice, tolerance, mob mentality. I suppose mob mentality also feeds into 12 Angry Men as well, because there's... Yeah.
That's why we put them together, wasn't it? Because they've got very similar...
That's why I put them together.
Yeah, you put them together. Yeah, you put them
We're originally going to do To Kill a Mockingbird and Narnia.
Yeah, but we're doing
Narnia. We are
with
still
something
doing
else
Narnia.
now.
With something else.
Yeah. So all you Narnia fans,
we are getting there.
Don't stress. We'll be getting there.
It was after I rewatched, I think, To Kill a Mockingbird. I thought 12 Angry Men really goes well with this. Yeah. Do you not agree?
Well, I do agree after seeing it. Yeah. Sure. I mean, my knowledge of older films from like the 50s and 60s and 40s and all that is not as obviously like yours. You've got a greater knowledge of older films than myself.
I only watch old films. I don't anything beyond.
That's because the new films coming out are rubbish.
Yeah, they're boring.
That's why.
Anything beyond the 70s, I'm just nah, bruv. Bit anyway. So we just said mob mentality. But also innocence and maturity. Yeah. There's certainly darkness lurking in the corners of the brightest environments. What do you think of To Kill a Mockingbird?
Well, I'm on the other side of the coin to you.
Excuse me.
I was not keen on it personally. I watched this film in 2 bits because I watched an hour of it and I had to turn it off because I just didn't
Did you find it boring? Or?
I just found it boring.
Okay.
And I thought I'm going to watch the other hour another day. Okay. It was not what I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be in a good way. Like, this is nothing like I thought it'd be, but it was amazing. Sure. It was, and I thought it was going to be more culty. More courtroom.
There
I
are
thought it was
courtroom aspects to it, but it's mainly just
like 20 minutes of the whole 2-hour film.
But, I mean, to be fair, there's more courtroom aspects to this than there is 12 Angry Men.
Well, no, because at least they are at the court in 12 Angry Men.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
And they're talking about the whole thing all the way through it.
Sure.
But
this is more of a focus. They sort of focus more on Scout and Gem.
Yeah, I think I wish I knew a little bit more about the film before I watched it, because I don't know if I'd liked it more, but I think I would have been prepared for what I was going to see, rather than I'm expecting to see a 2-hour film about and a case where you're going to see all people's points and all the stuff. That's what I thought I was going to see.
Sure.
Did you think it was funny that his name was Finch? It's To Kill a Mockingbird?
I mean, the Mockingbird reference is sort of at the end, isn't it? When he says, no, it's fun. Yeah, fine.
Dill won the Beautiful
birds.
Child contest when he's clearly quite an ugly child, isn't he? And I've never seen someone cement up a hole in a tree. Maybe that's something they did in the early days.
I think I have seen a cemented tree.
Have you?
I think I have. I think I've seen a tree patched like that. There are three main threads to the film. There's the Finch family. The Finch family dynamics, the courtroom drama, and you've got the Boo Radley aspects.
Yeah, and it's
a film
like the end of the film sort of takes a dark turn as Scout and Jim are like stalked on Halloween.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure.
It's got like giving Carpenter vibes.
It gets really, really dark.
Yes.
So the white girl's father, the white girl is Maybella, correct?
Right. Who's claiming that
she was assaulted by Tom Robinson.
Yeah.
So her father Bob.
Yeah.
Is a complete scumbag.
Oh God.
But he's a key figure though.
He is.
He turns out that he beat his daughter. He
Yes.
beat Maybella for interacting with Tom Robinson.
Yes.
With whom she thrust herself onto him.
Yes.
I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
And later then made horrific claims of assault thereafter. Atticus proves Tom's innocence, but Tom is killed when trying to escape a detention transfer, a prison transfer.
Yeah.
Bob Ewell spits in his face.
He does, doesn't he? He spits in
Atticus Finch's face, for all of the humiliation, I suppose, or embarrassment that he'd endured.
Yeah, but his daughter does crack like an egg.
She
literally. Under Atticus asking her question, she just literally collapses.
Indeed.
Quite dramatically as well.
Yeah. And then he tries to stalk and kill Scout and Jem.
Yeah, I know. That's
only
really
to be
bloody
stopped and killed himself by the reclusive
by
Boo
the
Radley.
monster Boo Radley. There's a band called the Boo Radleys, isn't there?
Wake up, Boo.
Yeah.
The sheriff kind of works out that Boo is responsible.
Yes.
And lets him get away with it.
He does.
It's so dark. Yeah, but on the other side, that it's a story of adolescence. It's not really a courtroomy.
I thought it was more going to be about Atticus Finch when it's really more about Scout and Jim and Dill and
it's about the family dynamic.
The family. It's really more about them.
Because there's a maid as well, isn't there?
And it feels to me a bit like a film that's got parts, but they only sort of slightly.
Have you ever read the book?
No.
Okay.
There's they're a film of parts that sort of have a cohesion in a way, but
okay. Yeah,
it's lots of different little bits, I thought.
This is the exploration of incredibly difficult themes, such as the bigotry, such as this injustice, such as tolerance and stuff like that, all sort of seen through the innocent eyes of the kids. I think it's sort of genius. It's a really, really powerful device, and it sort of goes into sort of coming of age territory because they rapidly mature with all of this chaos going on.
Yeah.
Like we said, the kids. There is darkness to it. There are true horrors. Scout more or less stops a lynch mob in its tracks.
Yes, when the lynch mob come.
It's so dark.
But I don't. Do you know what I really don't like in these old films where you get a kid and they go, "Hey, Mr. Bradley, don't you remember me? My name's Little Katie. I used to play with your boy Billy." And then the guy looks and he goes,
"Oh, my boy Billy. Oh yeah, I know you.
I just hate that kind of dialogue. It's just like, oh, of course you know who she is. She's Atticus Finch's daughter. Of course you know who she is.
Right. So how do you feel about the
local scallywag?
How do you feel about the performances? So how do you feel about, say, Mary Badham?
As Scout?
And Philip Alford as Jem as well. How do you feel about the kids?
I think they're annoying.
Oh,
Jim not as much. I think Scout is more annoying. I quite like Dill. I'm going to be honest. I quite like Dill. I think he's quite dorky.
You just called him really ugly, like
he is ugly and dorky. Yeah.
Sure.
Doesn't mean I can't like him because he's ugly.
I generally don't particularly like child performances. I don't like child actors necessarily because they're not.
I really
always
hate
that
child
great.
performances in older films. Like,
But
you know.
I like these ones. I think.
I mean, Natalie Wood's performance in Miracle on 34th Street, some of the things she says is so cheesy. And
Well,
you just sort of, I love this film, but, you know,
Sure.
her performance can be a
There are
bit...
some not so in the pantheon of incredible, the pantheon of movies. There are some really duff child performances, and my preference is I'm not really. But there are some fantastic ones like Haley Joel in Sixth Sense.
Oh, yes, in modern films there's some very good, you know,
Exactly.
children's performances.
We were
but
talking about what's her name, Molly Shapiro in Hereditary.
Oh, she was fantastic.
Incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe less so Jake Lloyd or whatever his name is for Anakin.
Don't be nasty, he's had problems.
I don't care. I'm
He's
gonna
had
be
a lot
nasty
of problems.
if I think it's a poor performance, I'm going to... Anyway, Gregory Peck
Gregory Peck was amazing. I thought he was great.
absolutely shines. It's an iconic
Yeah.
performance.
And that suit, that seersucker suit he wears, he looks so smart, doesn't he? In that heat. Another one with all the heat, isn't it?
Do the claim.
Yeah, Yana.
Yana.
All that heat.
I believe that Jimmy Stewart was the first choice. To
Was
play
he?
Atticus
I would have
Finch.
liked to seen him. I thought they would have been great.
Well, that's the thing. Although I would have liked to have seen that, I still think Gregory Peck.
I would have loved to see Jimmy Stewart. Hey, there's that person's father over there coming to kill my children.
Oh no!
Yeah, be like, no, don't you try doing that.
What do you think of young Robert Duvall?
Amazing,
Boo?
amazing. He says nothing, does he? He just stands there like a young man.
He's very quiet,
He's very quiet.
but I think he's something of an MVP. in
I'm
this.
quite surprised because Robert Duvall, I've always known him in his films for being quite wordy, you know?
Really,
Very talky man.
yeah, really powerful.
Powerful,
really,
yeah.
a real powerful individual.
And
So,
for
Tom
him,
Hagen. Is it
yeah,
Tom Hagen?
Tom Hagen, yeah, in The Godfather.
So good.
Yeah.
Really powerful, really intelligent. You get
Very
that real-
intense in Days of Thunder as well.
Days of Thunder. He's an incredibly
Yeah.
good actor. He's also in Network, right?
I think he is, yeah.
We
Network
should
was good.
We
We should do Network. I haven't watched that in a long time.
Dog Day and
Network.
Oh,
A
Mary,
Lumet
that
one.
sounds like-
There we go. Lumet one
I'd
coming.
be well up for that.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Hell yeah!
I love both those films. They're really good.
I think Boo. Just while we're still talking about Boo, I think Boo and Tom share Tom Robinson, Boo Radley and Tom Robinson share similar aspects.
Right.
They're both kind men and downtrodden outcasts. Right?
Yes. Yeah,
It's
because
just-
Boo, because of his like mental,
yeah,
I suppose.
I think Brock Peters as Tom Robinson is really good as well. Yeah.
In a whole, I mean, I like the film.
Right. What do
But-
you think of the score, by the way? Elmer Bernstein's. I think.
alright.
Oh man, I think it's really good.
Didn't really notice it, to be honest.
Even the main. Okay, the main theme.
I mean, I didn't notice any music in 12 Angry Men because I was so fixated
Because you were
on
so
on the
drawn into it.
performances.
Oh, fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah. Cool.
I mean, to be honest, that film could have gone. 12 Angry Men could have gone without any music whatsoever. There could have been no music all the way through that film, and it wouldn't have mattered.
It could have just been punctuated with Lee Cobb just.
Oh,
saying
no, it could have
horrible
been
things.
punctuated with Hans Zimmer's. Like Lee Cobb could say something like, "He's just on. This is an open and shut case," and then suddenly, and then twinkly piano music when Henry Fonda talks.
It's a
But
really
no,
good
it's-
score. I think Elmer Bernstein's score is really good, especially that main theme. Really evokes the playful, nostalgic aspects, but also
I was just
does
disappointed the way that
carry
the thing
those
went for
darker-
poor Tom. I just
How it all
felt
went for him, yeah.
really sad that, you know, like he lost his case and, you know, Atticus is like, well, don't worry.
But
you know.
justice was served,
Yes, I suppose it
and
was.
that's the fundamental thing.
Yeah.
And the scumbag didn't get away with it. Yeah, mob mentality and
Definitely mob mentality. Or what is it? What do they call it? It's
justice and ignorance and stereotyping.
It's a bit like that
bigotry.
just type of justice that they call it, isn't it? It's like mob justice, which is like,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So how would you verdict?
Well, for me, I was hoping this was going to be like a 5-star film for me, but for me, I would only have said about a 2-star, really. It was, and it's
Fair
not
enough.
because it's a bad film. It's not for me. It's not for me. That's all.
Okay. Fair enough. That's all good. I think it's big. Insert Chris Eubank here.
This tango is big. It's big. We're big.
Join us again as we discuss 2 superhero blockbusters. Marvel Studios.
It's what I can't wait for.
Oh, you want to see this one, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Marvel Studios.
I want to see this one. Infinity War, baby.
Marvel Studios is. Do you want to? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting excited.
Avengers Infinity War from 2018 and Avengers Endgame from 2019.
Yes.
Won't that be fun?
That'll be amazing. Can you hear Kimmy? She's excited.
We have an Australian Silky in the back.
Yeah, she'll be watching it too.
Infinity War is absolutely fantastic. I watched it this morning.
Yes, I saw you. You
I
posted
think it might be their best film.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this later, of course. I need to rewatch Endgame, which I'll
Yeah.
watch at some point over the weekend,
Yeah.
I guess, if I have any time. I haven't seen Endgame since seeing it at the cinema with you.
I think you need to rewatch it though. I think you do need to.
I
They do
hope
need
it's
a
still
little.
as good as I remember.
We do. You do need a little rewatch.
Indeed. You can find us on Letterboxd, Time Rat Bastard. You are.
Kedrelon.
How is that spelled?
KERJA_RELON. I'm really sorry about my dog this time. If you can hear my dog sort of crying.
Oh, she's lovely. Don't
She's
worry.
got a treat and she doesn't know what to do with it.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Love you, boy. Thanks for listening. Animal, baby. Animal, that was a song by Def Leppard.
That was beautiful.
And I know. And I need, and I know, animal. Oh, we love that one-armed drummer. Let's take me back to the 80s, that is. I love that.
That's an intro sorted.